Hey guys, welcome to the Everybody Just Calm Down the podcast. I'm your boy Po Theory.
I'm Jared.
And as you can see, we are missing our lovely co-host Danielle. She is currently living her life up in Rome, Italy right now. Slightly jealous,
Very
but
jealous.
whatevs. She definitely tried her hardest to be here, even though I told her she was not going to be here.
Did
But
she?
right, she's sending me screenshots now saying like they're not letting me in. It's not letting me in. I'm like, sure. I know what it looks like when you turn on your phone on airplane mode to make it seem like nothing's working.
I mean,
know
she
that
can
game.
barely connect from Jersey, so I don't know what made her think she's gonna be able to connect from Italy.
And I think that is an extremely fair point. I'm dead. How's your start of the week?
So this is one of those rare Mondays where I did not have a Sunday fun day, so I was like fresh facing bushy tails today. So that
Oh,
was lovely. How's yours?
well, the day was pretty good. I felt like I was waiting for my trip to happen so quickly. Like, oh my God, when is it coming? When is it coming? And then now it's here, and I'm like, oh my God, it's here. So I have to figure out life. But other than that, it's all good and whatever.
Well, I'm excited for you.
Me too. But anywho, guys, we are here to review the last episode of the season, Reunion Part 3. I really don't know how to feel about this last part, this part 3.
Did you think it needed to be 3 parts? I've seen a lot of chat on Twitter that it should have just been 2.
I think that they could have taken a third of part 1, added it to 2, and it could have been a 2-parter.
Yeah, I mean, because we definitely could have gone without the men segment, for sure.
We could have I would have been fine with getting rid of, like, I think we still needed Charles because he was such a pivotal part to the show, especially like all the mess that happened with Angela. That was really important. But for Ralph and Dennis, I don't think any of us was that invested into the whole Drew is trying to sleep with Dennis.
No. And you know who I know wishes it was only 2 parts? Shamea.
Oh, listen. When I tell you, you know that she had a horrible reunion when you got to come back and speak, like, when you got to speak on it, like
that's a Housewives first, a post-production apology. Girl. A new low.
Though
I couldn't even get through like the first 5 seconds, I feel.
Well, sweetie, I need you to understand before we get into this review, this girl, probably 40 minutes in, don't judge me.
But it was that long?
Girl, what was like an hour?
Shut the up. I thought it was like 5 minutes.
Language!
Oh my God. Oh, sorry.
But I watched it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no lie, 45 minutes, all of a sudden there's like a pause break. Her mom and I think her cousin comes in and they start doing a full prayer. Oh. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. The cousin starts praying and says, we need a circumcision, like on the men's genitals. I'll send you the screenshot. But anywho, let's get into the episode.
Get her off my show. Get her off my show.
Now, this is bad. Like, I cannot believe how bad she's clicking down. Oof. Like, it's just like, how are you worse than Britt?
Yeah.
Like, this is bad. But anywho, we open up the episode with the girls going back and forth, Shamea and Porsha, that is. We find out that the actual drama, which was, I would like to say I was correct. I said it got something to do with that daycare. God dang it. I knew it had to have something to do with that daycare. And the way that Porsha was just bodying Shamea in this whole segment, you could tell that she was telling the truth about that whole foreclosure, about when it came to the whole thing about, Shamea's mother taking over the daycare or what have you. Because Shamea didn't say anything. Where she did try to give a little bit of clarification. Well, they weren't talking for a while, and that's when she did X, Y, and Z. And then Andy asked the question, well, why weren't they talking? And she was like, well, we can't get in there. So it sounds like still, did Mama Denise start like it now made me think, did not Mama Denny's go for the husband? Like, what's happening?
I'm about to say I think you alluded to that when we talked about this before, and that that we said Miss Diane, she might be a little fast.
Diane, there we go. Sorry, I don't know why.
And then notice too that everybody else is jumping in, like Cynthia and like, we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. It's like they all know it's something else, and so I think
Porsha probably told. No, Shamea probably told.
Oh, of course, of course, Big Mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Because if it's Diane that did something, then Porsha's not going to be pushing that.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying. So when Andy jumps in and tries to say, well, it seems like there's been a lot of talking behind each other's back, Porsha rightly jumps in and says, no, not both of us. There has not been talking behind both of each other's back. She's the one that has been talking more so behind my back. And then Shamea tries to say, well, you said stuff with Britt. And I love Cynthia jumping in and being fair and saying, well, no, honestly, Britt came to Porsha about this, and Porsha still did not kick your back in.
Right.
Like,
and Shamea, you watched it play out on the show. Like, we all saw that.
The way Shamea is defending herself, she is making it seem like that it's like old school Real Housewives of Atlanta, all these things that were happening off camera that no one got to see. But every single thing that she's talking about was done on camera.
Yeah.
And she's like regurgitating and like replaying it out as if we did not see this. Like, girl.
And then that she did was off camera, but then her castmates are spilling the tea about what she did.
And all confirming it. Every single one of them are confirming
including the close friend group that's not even on the show.
Hello? Because that was... I thought that was really interesting because it's like, yeah, girl, she is going around saying all these things. And again, I say this, I've said this whole season, I recognize this with Shamea, but I think that there is a certain level of, at first I thought it was like, oh, she just can't express herself. And so, of course, when you can't express yourself and you then start expressing yourself to all these other people that know the both of you, you will end up looking like the bad guy when you don't go to the person that is actually making you feel the way that you feel. But it wasn't that she wanted to just simply express herself. I am now of the belief that you were trying to take Porsha down. It feels like that. Like, go ahead.
I don't know if she was like intentionally trying to take her down. I feel like, in a way, yes, probably so. I feel like she had all these years of resentment about all this, whatever has gone down with Porsha that she has not expressed herself about. She saw this as like a door opening for her to finally like let that out in some form or fashion. I don't even know if she went in with that intention, but once there was a cracked door, it's like she went for it and it blew up in her face.
It blew up in her face, but look, how can it not be intentional? There's not been a situation in my life that I can think about that I'm kicking a friend back in to someone I shouldn't be kicking their back into, that I did not go in there thinking like, ooh, I probably shouldn't be doing this. Ooh, but if it does happen, how am I going to get out of this? Do you get what I'm saying? If we do find out about it. So it's just like, for me, because I'm seeing a lot of people comment, the ones that are defending her and saying stuff like, well, guys, this is our first season as a peach holder. Da-da-da-da-da. It's like, I'm sorry, you can't tell me that Porsha did not try to put her up on game. Candy ain't try to put her up on game. She's also been on the show. She knows how this goes. She knows how this plays out. And for some reason, she played this game so weird, bro. Like, I just like, what was going on? But Andy asked Shamea, is there anything that she can apologize for? Which gagged me because you notice that he did not ask Porsha, is there anything that she...
But after
he said no, go ahead.
After he had just validated her about what Shamea to be a peach holder,
exactly, which was like, it's like one of those things where I don't care what all our little friends and our castmates were saying. The boss said that I was repping for you.
Right.
That's what the boss said. And so let's get rid of this conversation.
And now Shamea, you look so dumb because like I just took away like the whole basis of your beef with me. Just got snatched away just like that.
And also, that to put a nice little bow, the point that you kept bringing up to everybody else and not bringing up to Porsha. So let's be very clear on that. But Shamea goes on to say that she apologizes for having conversations about her friendship with Porsha to the other ladies. And honestly, if I was sitting on the couch, I would not have clocked it like how Angela and Drew clocked it. Because in my brain, I would have said, oh, okay, she's just apologizing for talking about how her friend's back and not coming to her. But what they heard was, you are apologizing for going to girls that twist your words. And when they clocked that and said, well, why would you feel bad about coming to us and giving your opinions? Like, Drew was like, I didn't go back and tell her. And then she was like, well, I did. But I was very factual and I didn't give anything extra. And it's just, for me, when Shamea goes on to say that she wished she had a third party there, it makes it seem like those girls was lying on her.
Right.
And it just really showed me that, like, a lot of things that people say about Porsha, about a lack of accountability from time to time, Shamea is, it's like, whoa. And I'm trying to be fair. It's like, is it because she just can't play the game that it bothers me more? Because I can see Porsha not taking accountability for certain things. But Porsha knows how to play the game. Porsha knows how to play stupid. Porsha knows how to play stupid to make you underestimate her. So when she really plays the game, you're not prepared. You're not ready.
Yeah.
And Shamea just came in like, you did a lot, and it just did not land, sweets.
Yeah. And then to that point, because Porsha is so well seasoned as a housewife and as playing the game as a housewife, and because Porsha had to learn a lot of this going up against another one of the best to ever do it against Kenya. So, and she was on there with the Kenya and the Nene. So Porsha had pretty much like a masterclass because she was on the show with some of the greatest to ever do it. And then Shamea comes on the show, tries to play the same game, but then you playing it with the veteran on the cast. Like, you picked the wrong one. You should try that well, she couldn't even do it with Drew. Maybe not anybody else, but Porsha of all people, like, it's like playing, what do they say, playing chess with Bobby Fischer. Like, you picked the wrong girl.
You picked the wrong girl. And well said. Well said. Shamea says that after the sit down, she felt that Porsha and her were off to a good place, but then she felt like Porsha was distancing herself. And Porsha was like, girl, I was grieving. Like, I didn't have time for a conversation. And I can relate to that because I did see some people commenting and was like, well, she could have at least responded to her. Because if y'all best friends, you know, that's when you lean on your friends most. I'm sorry, not when I was just beefing with my best friend. Like, when I'm going through all this stuff with my best friend, you're like the last person I'm thinking about dealing with, especially in the time of grief. I'm not trying to, you know, really rock with you like
grief
that.
and divorce.
Grief and divorce. Hello. And also, too, that kind of makes me want to go back to an interview that Porsha said on the Breakfast Club when she said, you know, she, again, playing it very well. She said, we saw the first episode when Shamea got her car and all that stuff. And there was so much conversation about me not being there on time and all that stuff. But Shamea was very well aware that my house, that is literally less than 15 minutes away from her, I am no longer allowed to film there. And the fact that I had a film crew with me, she knows that I was up in Duluth. It would take me longer to get there. So I think that was like the beginning seed of where Shamea keeps saying, I'm trying to be a good friend. I'm being a good friend, yada, yada, yada. But you're actually not being a good friend because you know these things and you're allowing people's opinions, like Porsha said, you are allowing people's opinions and preconceived notions about me from past seasons to paint me in a way, and you're not actually stopping it.
Right.
When you know better. Like, I am not a fan. Like, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Like, this is bad. It's so bad. But Shamea says that essentially she didn't know there was any beef until Cynthia told her, and then when she saw that she was hanging out with Britt, when she saw that she was hanging out with Britt, she felt that she took that personally. I'm gonna shoot her a little bit of bail. I'll give you that. I will give you that. That, you know, when you start seeing, I'm hitting you up, you're going through all this stuff, but then I see you hanging out with somebody else. Cool, I'll give you that. The problem that I have with that is, and this comes to, no, but this is, why?
Two things. One, when Porsha was hanging out with Britt, like Britt and Shamea had a moment, but they really weren't beefing like that. Like they didn't beef like that until like almost the end of the season. When Porsha and Britt were hanging out beforehand, they weren't really beefing like that. And then at the beginning of the season, Shamea was hanging out with Kelly when Kelly was coming for Porsha. So what's the difference?
Eat. Now, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 1,000% actually. The only thing that where I'm willing to shoot her bail is that seeing how all that like played, like, okay, we sit down, we say we're going to be fine, and then I'm reaching out to you, you're not responding, and then you're hanging out with a person that in my brain it has been kicking your back in, but also kicking your back in with me, and I have not really told you that she was kicking your back in until I had a problem with her. So let's keep that very clear. The problem that I have with this whole thing is keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Play the game better. You do not let nobody know that that's bothering you, especially when all of that information is going to come out. Because again, we didn't see anything come out of Britt's mouth when it came to Porsha, really, this whole season, until she was defending Porsha, or like, well, not defending Porsha, but running Shamea's name through the mud, or what have you.
Right.
Now, Andy asks if there's anything each of them need to hear from each other. Porsha says no, and she doesn't have anything else to give at this moment. Shamea says, see, this is where her and Porsha are different. There has been times where she did not have the bandwidth. She still tried because she loved Porsha. And let me tell you something. That was probably the most triggering thing I heard on this episode from Shamea.
Really?
Sweetie, yes. And let me tell you why. Sweets, if Porsha says she ain't got it for you, and then you say that's where we are different, because even when I don't have the bandwidth, I still show up, sweetie, that's you having the bandwidth. That's you being able to give more. And so when you are in a lopsided friendship, and we have to take away the negative connotation around that. No relationship is always going to be balanced. We got to cut that out.
Yeah.
There are going to be times where you give more than I give. There are going to be times that I give more than you give. And honestly, some people just have a more of a capacity to give. It is up to you as the person that has the more capacity, that you got to be okay with that being the thing. Her issue is the same thing that I said I hope Angela would not do in our first episode reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, where I was talking about Charles Oakley, because I think I was like the only one that really knew who Charles Oakley was on this show. I was saying, right, I kept saying, I hope Angela, because Angela has been married to this man and she knows how he is, I hope she don't let the fans get in her head and all of a sudden she start viewing Charles differently, even though she's been okay with how he moves, because everybody else doesn't understand it. And that's what's happening with Shamea. Shamea, you have to understand that Porsha ain't gonna do certain things that you want her to do. It ain't gonna be balanced in that way. And so if you can't handle that inequity, leave.
Right.
Because you keep trying to be a martyr here, and it's not working, sweetie. Right. Like, it's just not
bare minimum. Even if you don't want to lead the friendship, like, then just back up a little bit. Like, stop giving as much. Meet her where she is. You don't got to keep going out your way if she's not doing the same thing.
Exactly. Like, oh my God, I just going through so much, and there have been times that I haven't been able to do it, but I still do it. And she didn't ask you. Mm-hmm. You could have easily said, no, I can't do it. You're putting yourself through that.
Yeah.
But Andy took me out with this whole thing, the way he was just like really trying to teach Shamea stuff. Like, Angie teaching her how to be a good friend took me out. And when she said, again, being a victim, I got so much going on. I don't want to have to deal with it. So I just sweep it under the rug and then Andy says, well, you see what that got you. Right. Now, this is the thing for me before we move on to Drew's segment. Girl, you're not sweeping under the rug when you are dogging her out to everybody else. That's not sweeping under the rug. Sweeping under the rug is when you don't talk about it with anybody. You just let the rug get bigger and bigger. And then when you walking on the rug, you trip. And then that's when you let everything out. You ain't sweeping nothing under the rug, sweets. no sympathy for that crying. I just,
No.
I just want to, like, what is that? Does anyone hear this accent that she's putting on when she tries to speak properly?
I don't hear
like, it bothers me. I don't know how y'all don't hear that. Please go back to the older seasons. It's like when she was a friend of, she felt she was okay with being a bitch from Decatur. But now she got a peach and she got a 30318 zip code. My bad for putting it out there. But
maybe just saying, accent is rubbing off on her.
Girl, speaking of Cordell, look, speaking of Cordell, I'm joking. Because that's what he gave. From first season, Cordell ain't never show up, sweets. He ain't never show up. But then we move on to Drew's segment. We find out that they play her package, and then we find out that Drew has put her kids in therapy, which I thought was a beautiful choice to be made, especially with having such a heavily religious family with them being pastors and stuff like that. That's usually not
right,
where it goes. So I really appreciated that. We find out that Ralph was tweeting really horrible things about her mom, about helping her mom, because the mom spent all the money, spent all her late dad's money and things like that. When I typed in my notes, we found out, it hit me. I was like, that's crazy how much I was muting everything about Drew this whole season, because I'm sure that we knew that, like, that was fodder when we were reviewing the other episodes. I
had no idea. This is the first I heard about this.
But that's what I'm saying. We were blocking it out, sweets. We didn't care. Like, we just very recently started caring about Drew. But it was really cool to know that Drew's dad was a prominent pediatrician. Yeah, to me, it's like that gives me Maryland. Like, Maryland, even though I'm comparing it to cities, Maryland's a state, but it's a small state. But like Maryland, Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, like very like black areas, because Maryland has like the number one for like black wealth.
Yeah.
And Atlanta being a predominantly black city, Chicago having a huge black population. So when you hear black people, especially from different generations, talk about like their parents being like doctors and stuff like that, it just gives a very Jack and Jill feel. And it just it's like, okay, Drew, I now maybe learn more and understand more about Drew. They bring up the cooking video on IG, and of course Ralph did too much with the caption. Drew goes on to basically let us know that he was being essentially he was being extremely extra. It wasn't that deep. They weren't really all on each other's body like that. He was just being extra.
It sounds very on brand.
Extremely on brand. Now, I'm going to go a little bit. I'm going to go deeper on this towards the end of the episode, but my question to you is, why do these women on these panels just respect the bare minimum so much? Like, when they turned around and said, well, it was great to see you on that video with Ralph in the kitchen cooking. Why was that a good thing?
I think they're so used to these toxic situations. So then when they get like the bottom of a barrel situation and just like you said, the bare minimum, it's like, oh, such a great thing. It's like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's just great to see y'all. When I see stuff like that, I be like, here she go, restarting the clock. All you doing is restarting the clock, dog, for y'all to get into some more mess or him say something stupid or whatever the case may be.
And also, don't give the kids like false hope. Like, don't give the impression that y'all like could potentially get back together or anything like that. Like, you don't want to create that narrative either for your kids.
Exactly, especially when we know that the kids are on social media and can see everything. They'll see that and be like, "Oh, mommy and daddy are getting back together." Like, come on. They talk about the woman that was allegedly in the basement with Ralph. We find out that apparently this woman has approached her at school. Prison.
Right.
Prison. I wish somebody would try to approach me at school with my kids about my still husband.
Like, what do you even say? Like, how do you feel even comfortable to approach me about what?
You have no obligation. Like, you're
Right.
not even like I like what? Like that was crazy to me. Um, but one of the audience questions was, why didn't any of the women show any grace to Drew like they showed Porsha, even though they were going through the same thing? And I felt that I said that in the beginning of the season, where I was like, it's crazy that we're having the same type of dichotomy with Beverly Hills, Kyle and Dorit, and here comes Porsha and Drew. And here comes Kelly jumping in and lying some more. Like her and Shamia got a little line problem. And I just love Angela. Like, no, Kelly, that's not what that was.
She just looked over and said, "Mm-mm." I love
like,
it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Like,
And Drew clocked it immediately, basically saying, Kelly, you didn't want to give me a chance. You took like the liar narrative. What you saw basically as a fan watching the show prior to you being on the show, you tried to take that narrative and run with it and make a moment out of it for yourself. Like you never tried to get to know me. She clocked the hell out of her, and I appreciated her for that.
Ate her real bad. She had nothing to say. Nothing to say after that. We find out that she's actually not cousins with Michael Jordan, but they're cousins in her head. It was cool to say. Right. Another cringy moment for Shamea. I think we're up to about 7 cringy moments just in this episode alone for Shamea. And here's 8. They bring up PJ's college, and Porsha says it was different from how Shamea explained it, though it was a cringy statement to make. When Shamea told her she was pissed off about it, but when she watched it back, she wasn't pissed off. And so Shamea does this thing where she doesn't want you. I noticed this in reality, and then also too when somebody's about to get dog walked. They start over talking people, and they don't want people to really get all the information out there and really talk about what happened. So she started over talking Porsha. Oh, I just keep my mouth shut. Oh, my bad. Well, it was this because it felt like it was shady. Yada yada yada. And then going back to what you said, Jared, we saw it.
Right.
We saw how Drew said it. So when you said I said it was shady, yeah, and that's the issue because that's what made Porsha mad. But as Porsha saw it back, as the rest of the audience and everybody on the stage with you saw it back, you put 10 on 2. I'm not understanding how you missing this.
Right.
So then when she says, well, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, Drew said, yeah, you should. I said, right, you should. And then she starts to overtalk Drew. And then Drew says, there you go again. Look at you fighting for her life, fighting for that life, for that friendship. I said, Drew. But I think like with somebody like Shamea, again, because I was watching Carlos King last week with Dustin, my man. And they said, watch your mouth, sweets. He's mine.
Okay.
You never even had him once, but I have him all the time, okay? You can sleep at night. Yeah. Sweets. But they were trying to knock Porsha's performance by saying that nobody on that stage is really like a veteran like her.
I heard
Shamea
that.
was not on her level. It was still artful. I don't care what nobody say.
That was Claudia, and I felt like she was coming off like a little bit of a hater.
Well, she can't help it hate. She ain't gonna have nothing nice to say about Nene. She ain't gonna have nothing nice to say about Porsha, no matter what, even if they right. But yeah. So and I kind of feel like that's kind of what they were trying to say with Drew on this episode in terms of like, well, Shamea is not formidable, but Shamea like kind of get bucked. Did you notice how Shamea was like get bucked with Drew in that segment? Like, yeah, but yeah, I said, she was like, I was like, whoa, girl, like. Relax, like it's really not that deep, sweets.
She was just getting frustrated. She was just getting.
But then they asked, "Go ahead."
Say she was just getting frustrated. She was getting whacked so much.
Whack her again. Right, whack her again. Shit. When Shamea tries to compare Angela and Drew's relationship to Shamea and Porsha, and Angela says, "I'm too big to sit on anybody's lap." I said, "Come on, Angela, that was a good sound bite." They did move on to ask Drew about Black. She continues to say they are friends, but then promotes his products. And Bravo said not today because they made sure they blacked out that packaging. I caught that. I said, ooh.
Yeah, that was
But
so
I'm sure
weird.
they'll look
Anyway,
it up. It was actually extremely weird. And then also the ending when they were going to commercial. Did you catch how Drew was like trying to put tea out about Porsha, but the segment was still
yeah,
ending and it
yeah.
just went away? That was so odd to me. So what you gonna say?
No, that was it.
So the men arrive. My notes start off by saying Ralph is so fine and toxic. Like, Ralph is one fine man. I'm sorry.
He is, but I couldn't even get past his like lying smile. Like as soon as he smiled, I was like, "Oh, you lying!" Like it just turned me all the way off.
Yeah, it don't turn
Oh,
me
you didn't have a
off
problem with it?
at all. That
No.
man is fine. No, I mean I have a problem with his lying, but like just how he looked, like knowing who Ralph is, I'm just gonna smash. That's it.
Well, this was after the Beijing.
Nothing more, nothing less. Before, after, ball, blocks, I don't care. That man is fine. I love, I like a big man. Like, oof.
Oh,
All
I
right, let's
know.
move on. Dennis, blah. Uh,
Literally.
Dennis giving blah. Of course, they asked Shamia. They asked about Gerald, and Shamia says the dumbest response known to man.
He's at home
Oh,
with his
he's at
kids.
home with his kids. Like she said that like it was a flex. And I love that Andy like went back and said he couldn't get a sitter. Like, yeah, like what do you, like that's not a flex that he's not here supporting you, sis.
Andy's
And
petty though
so
too, because you know good and well that man does not want to be on this show, and you still gonna bring it up.
right, right, exactly. But I think it's important to do so.
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
if it's important, it's a part of the package. But let's be clear, because I did see like a lot of people commenting saying like, "Wow, oh, he really on Porsha's side the way he coming there." He's done that with every single Housewives of Atlanta husband that does not come.
He asked about Juan Dixon every season.
Literally Juan Dixon every season. Like, come on. But she admits that, it's not really his thing. I will say who will be on the thumbnail tonight. It's gonna be 3 people on that thumbnail. It's gonna be Porsha, Shamia, and Charles. Those are my 3 that are coming on this thumbnail because Charles ate this segment up. Nothing bothers me more when a man is not how can I say this? I've noticed this in like a lot of heterosexual relationships, especially when it comes like from a woman to a man. When men don't really understand the intricacies of messy female drama BS. So it would have been very normal and easy for us to see Charles come in there and say, I don't even know what these girls talking about. Like, whatever. Angela, you doing? And like, who cares what they say? Yada, yada, yada. But to women, when women are coming at Angela about her marriage, that means something because it's within women mess. And I love how he was able to essentially like rap her, like, no, that's my wife and I love her and I'm gonna show up for her. And then the camera nicely pan right to Shamia sitting there with no husband, looking real dumb. Cause you were one of the ones asking, saying, I didn't even know that he was married. Let's not forget about that. Like it was so poignant for him to essentially say, I'm here for my wife and I love her.
And did you notice Shamia pipe up again after he made the comment, well, where y'all husbands at? And she goes turn around, my husband's at home. Girl, shut up.
Even, okay, real big dummy. If it's literally the definition of a hit dog will holler. Literally the definition of that. Literally. Like, no one would have. There were so many other people there that did not have a man. And you're the one that speaks up. Like, just even more of a notice that your man ain't there supporting you, Cordell. Like, that is crazy. Andy starts the whole Drew, Dennis, debacle or whatever the case may be. What I got from this whole back and forth was that Dennis is the problem. Dennis is a messy girl.
Absolutely.
Dennis pillow talk is crazy. Dennis pillow talk is crazy like nobody's business. He said one thing to Porsha and one thing to Drew and one thing to Ralph. The only simpatico, the only thing that was like in the same realm was when Ralph confirmed that the text messages were what Porsha had said.
Yeah.
But then Ralph comes in and throws in a wrench and says that Drew told him that Dennis was trying to holler at her. Now, do you believe that?
No. I think he was lying through his teeth, just like Drew said. Because he could barely keep a straight face.
Okay.
Like, he said it, and as soon as Drew started coming back, like, he couldn't even keep a straight face.
Okay, leave my man alone or whatever. Like, stop.
Go ahead and defend your man.
But no. Oh, every day, all day. But, either how I could see it happening is we arguing. And then especially after Dennis kept saying that that's his bro and all that stuff. That's why yo bro tried to me. I bleeped it out. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I can see that kind of being the thing, but I don't believe it. So Andy asked Dennis about dating Kelly and Britt. He basically says that when he dated Britt, it was so long ago. But then Kelly kind of got a little weird because she said it never went anywhere. But then all of a sudden, they had a couple phone conversations. Kelly's going to get demolished. It's going to be Kelly and Shamia's it's going to be a bad season for them next year.
Well, hopefully it's not going to
be good. I think a lot of girls were trying to... Go ahead.
Hopefully they take some lessons learned from this season
I don't think so.
improve, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think everybody was kind of like the Spider-Man meme, like we not gonna shoot y'all heads off too crazy yet, because we all don't know each other that well. But like now that they know each other and they know how each other move, it's gonna be crazy next year. It's gonna be really interesting next year. Now we already kind of lightly touched on how Charles was defending Angela, but I loved how Andy made it a very clear point to say a man of your profile coming on this platform and defending and supporting your wife in the way that you do was a beautiful thing to see. Because I would say I'm trying to think of husbands on a show outside of Deshaun Snow's husband. By then, the wife, like the husbands weren't really that big of a deal back then. We haven't really had anybody of this note, of this profile, as a husband and ever really. So yeah, like it was just like I'm happy that Andy pointed that out. But when they start getting on the semantics of no, who do you know? How do you know them? Charles said, and then Shamea, just stop talking sweets. Like, just stop, because you're making yourself look bad.
She met him at Nick's wedding. She said,
no, hold on, wait a minute. Right.
Who the hell is Nick?
Wait a minute. Right. Wait a minute. And he said, no, we were there. We didn't meet. And she kept, I don't know if you kept hearing, well, yeah, you know, you're a big deal, you're a legend, and I wasn't famous yet. And it's like, you still not famous, Shamea. Because unlike Drew, when you said you go to other people's other rooms and people don't know who Drew is, no one knows who Shamea is. So let's cut that out. When you're comparing yourself to Drew or what
hold on, Aaron,
let's not forget.
Hold on.
Drew was her own.
You was once telling us Shamea that girl in Atlanta. Don't backpedal now, can you?
Okay. In Atlanta, don't forget that clarifier. Drew is worldwide, sweets.
Well, I think Nick's wedding was in Atlanta.
Hello? Exactly. And the way he ate her up, just basically clarifying, like, no, we've been in the same rooms, but that don't mean we know each other. And then when it went to Phaedra, he said, I barely know her either. Do you think he was making a trans joke by saying that she could have been in the same bathroom because how she looked and so done up and the face all plump and stuff like that?
I do not think.
Or was I reaching?
I think you're reaching. I think he was making a comment.
Because you don't remember when Angela turned around and he was like, I don't care. Like, it was almost like they had an inside joke about Phaedra.
Oh,
and
you think so?
I don't know. Maybe I was just being extra.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I could just be being extra. But one of the things that I did want to highlight when they were going back and forth and they talking about the whole Wendy Williams thing and the whole baby thing and all that stuff. I think they're dynamic. A lot of people think that Angela is trying to stop Charles from speaking because he's going to embarrass her. When really what she's doing is trying to stop Charles from speaking before he eats the rest of these ladies up on the stage.
Fair.
I don't think that they understand. Like, Angela knows who her husband is, and he's going to say something that's going to hurt y'all feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the vibe. She's not going to be embarrassed by him because she knows who he is. But y'all ladies don't know. So y'all might want to stop.
That back and forth about Wendy Williams.
I do think it was... go ahead.
The back and forth about Wendy Williams and the wine and the date was weird.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, I agree. Because I'm sitting there like, why even have that back and forth? Like, did y'all not do game tape? Like, were y'all not trying to figure out how y'all was gonna lay that out? It was like the last season. Like, she doesn't have conversations with him about what she's gonna lay out, and so then he gives his natural reaction, and we're all sitting here like, what's going on? Like, we're all sitting here confused. Now this is where I wanted to. Actually, I'll save that for who needs to calm down. Do you have any other parts for the rest of this episode? Because I think we're basically done.
Yeah.
Essentially, the girls, Porsha comes out with the fans at. Cool. They do their little thing or whatever, and then that's the end of the episode, the end of the season, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into our favorite part of the show, and that is... Oh, don't even, girl. She didn't.
Damn. Everybody just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. I'm going to say who needs to calm down for the episode is Kelly, because the way that she was complimenting water for being wet blew me. First of all, saying to Drew, like, you don't know how good you got it. You're going through a divorce and this man is still wanting to take care of his kids. Wow. We're clicking down. Like, that's what he should be doing. Regardless of what's going on with the mother, he should be a present father. Like, I didn't understand that. I hated that. Now, when it comes to the season, overall, it's Shamea. There should be no... I'm shocked that I am saying it's Shamea and not Britt, but here we are. It's Shamea. You're clicking down.
Crazy.
We wanted more for you.
Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna piggyback off you as far as this episode. So who I think needs to come down for this episode is Ralph. Ralph, you weren't needed. I don't know why you got an invite to participate in this reunion. You came on and just told lies, and then for you to end off with a round of applause for doing what you're expected to do as a father just blew me. So take your congrats from Kelly and run with it. I hope we never see you on the TV screen again. And then for the season, it's also gonna be Shamea. Like, Shamea, for you to start off the first episode, the progression from the first episode to now, where we're thinking, oh, Shamea, she's wealthy, she's the glue, blah blah blah. The way that she just clicked so far down that she fell down below Britt as like the worst of the season is crazy. Pretty iconic, honestly, but girl, a mess.
Yeah, a hot mess. I think it should be studied. Her decline should be studied.
How to not do your first season as a Real Housewife.
So. At all, please. Anywho, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Our second show that we've completely finished. First Beverly Hills and now Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh my God, look at us being a real podcast now, a real YouTube channel. Wow. Anywho, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and also tell us who you think needs to calm down for this episode and then the season overall. In this spot, we will now start reviewing Real Housewives of Orange County, since Atlanta is gone. And we also we'll be doing some lives. We'll definitely give you guys enough of what's the word I'm looking for?
Content.
Enough of notification ahead of time. Yeah, well, content too, but enough of notification in time so you guys can be there to watch our lovely lives. We don't know what the lives will be about, but it'll be about something. So again, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and peace.
Well, that's a wrap on Atlanta.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it. Bye.
Oh, bye, guys. Nah, I'll let that bitch go. Well, how